Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you how I created this stunning natural Fulani-inspired hairstyle with two-strand twists in the back. I started out on natural, freshly washed, detangled hair that's been blow dried with the blow drying brush. And now I am just parting from ear to ear. This is how I'll separate the cornrow front from the two-strand twist that will be in the back. So that is what I am doing right now. This is the perfect protective hairstyle for low manipulation and just showing off your natural texture. And if you're tired of wearing extensions or just doing your hair, this is the go-to hairstyle if you still want that natural look. But you see right there, I am now parting the back part where the two-strand twist will be. Right now, I'm starting off with the 2 rows in the back. I am only showing you guys how I did 1 row of this because it's kind of repetitive and I've done this before in previous videos that you can go check out. As you can see, I am using my red silk comb to help with parting, and then I'm going to use some braiding gel. I am only applying the braiding gel onto her scalp, not on her hair itself. And you'll see what I mean by that when you continue to watch. But you see, I am just applying the braiding gel onto the parts. All the products that I am using, from tools to product, will be all in the description box. You can check out my Amazon storefront and you can order these as well, but all of the information will be down in the description box. You want to make sure that you prepare all your parts, your boxes, and make sure that they are equal to one another. You don't want to have one box bigger than the other. You want to make sure you have lots of clips. And you see right here, I just parted it down the middle, and then I parted each side with basically down in half as well. So basically it's only going to be 4 braids in the back, and I always start off with a braid because it keeps it nice and flat and sleek. It's not all puffy after like a day or so. And I'm only braiding a little bit. I'll only be showing you me braiding it because I don't want to get any braiding gel on the hair that is going to be twisted. So this is one of the ways that I do it. I just braid it, then just clip it to the side, and then later I go back with the actual mousse that I'm going to be using, and then I begin to twist. But you see right here, I'm just making sure that I'm just braiding, and I'm probably braiding like a ½ an inch, I want to say, just a little bit. If you want to think about it in a matter of turn, like as far as like 1, 2, 3, 4, I probably did it like at least 3 or 4 times, and then I start to separate it and make it into a twist. Now I am using this Cream of Nature Argan brand, and I am now just putting it all over. And the reason why her hair is blow dry is because I don't want the shrinkage to be too real. So I allowed the mousse to make it shrink as much as it's going to shrink by it being on blow dry hair. Which, where if it was all in this natural state and not stretched, it would be a lot more shorter than what I would want. I think the shrinkage would be really real, but this helps keep it with some length. And yeah, that's why I do the blow drying process. You can also pre-stretch your hair in a natural way without heat. And I have a video on that, so you can go check that out. It's probably one of my first videos. I can link it right here that you can go back and watch. I'll also have it in the description box. But you see, I begin the twist, and I just twist all the way down to the end. And you're probably wondering why it's not really shrinking much. Her hair hasn't really activated too much yet with this product, but you'll see as I keep going, like, oh wow, it has really did its shrinkage, its job, and it's gave it a little bounce and a little puff to it. And I am twisting to my right. I am not doing a rope twist per se. It's kind of like a loose twist, I want to say. I'm just twisting as tight as I can. I'm not really like twisting her hair as I twist. I hope that makes sense. That is pretty much how I create these twists, and I'm just twisting all the way down to her ends. I also do want to say that you can also just do braids in the back. It doesn't have to be twist, but if you want this look in particular, you want it to be twist, because when it's braids, it's just flat. It doesn't have any volume, but that is just another option that you can do with your natural hair. A lot of girls like to do the boho twist in the back with their natural hair. That's also another way, and that's just pulling little hairs out. Now that I am done with that, now you see me at the top, I'm doing a middle part first, because in order to do this type of design, you have to make sure that this middle part is middle parting. You want to make sure that you are parting it as perfectly as possible, because each part is really centered by the top part, which is the middle part. It's really centered on that part. So you want to make sure you're stepping in front of your client or your model, whoever, and you want to make sure that that part is right. Also, for a second opinion, have your client look at it and say, do you think this is your middle? And they will definitely let you know. I do that sometimes just to make sure, because sometimes when you're looking at something for too long, it all just looks the same. So sometimes I need like a blinded eye, like a naked eye, to see like any. But I'm usually dead on, set on. Usually when you're in the front, you're like dead set on. But some cases it could be a little bit more difficult. But now I am leaving out this one braid, because this will be the cornrow that will be going to the front. And then these ones are going to be flowing more towards the back. So that is why I have it pinned to the side. I'm starting off doing one side at a time. And once you complete one side, it's very easy to match. And I do the identical look, because you can use the parts from one side and you can just line it up and then make the curve the way that you need to based off the client's hairline. And that is pretty much what makes it easy. So I'm doing this side first, and I'm just braiding it until I get so far off of the scalp. And then these will also turn into twists. Eventually, I am not doing the twist right away. I am just doing the cornrows right away, because again, I treat it the same way I did the process in the back. The reason is because I don't want any stiff twists. I want them to be just like the back, nice and fluffy, which you guys see I completed off camera. Now I am doing all of these cornrows. So you will see how I end up twisting all of these once it is all done. And I'm just basically just braiding and doing the cornrow section. I do want to give some nighttime routine for this hairstyle, because a lot of people think, oh, it's their natural hair, they can just not wear a shower cap or a scarf. And that is not the case. You treat this hairstyle the same way you would any other hairstyle that is a protective hairstyle. So with that being said, you want to make sure that you are wearing a scarf for nighttime routine and a shower cap. I would recommend oiling your scalp at least once a week. I will also recommend putting some type of leave-in or mousse on the twist probably every third day, and just making sure that these twists stay nice and juicy, because you don't want them to get dried up and just look really dry and stale. You want to make sure they look moist or give the illusion. Spray some oil sheen on it. This hairstyle can last 3 weeks for sure, but you just have to make sure that you're doing all these things. When I say a scarf, I mean a silk scarf. I do not mean a bonnet. I know some of you guys just be like, oh, I got a bonnet, so I'm just going to put it on. I said a scarf. You want to make sure you wrap that scarf around the perimeter of this hairstyle. Have the twist coming out of it, because you want the scarf to hold down the braids at the top, because that usually is the first thing to get a little bit frizzy. So to make sure that doesn't happen, to prevent it from happening anytime earlier than what you expecting to like wear this hairstyle, wear a scarf. Wear a scarf. Unless you want to be back in the chair getting these done at the top all over again, which you don't want to do. And after about 2 weeks, the week before you take your hair down, which I would recommend 3 weeks, 3-week max. But in that second week, you can unravel those twists and allow them to do their thing until you actually take it down. And it'll look really voluminous and nice and cute. It will basically be a twist out in the back, and it'll be super cute as well with this hairstyle. So that is something you could think about. Or you don't have to take it out in the second week. I would say in that third week, when you're like a couple of days from taking it out. Because if you wait a whole week with that twist out, to be honest, it wouldn't look too good. So I would say within a couple of days before you take it out, just rock it with like a twist out. It'll be super cute, and In the end, I'm going to show you guys a way that we styled it, which is also the inspiration behind this hairstyle. I did this on a client before, but I didn't record the process. So that's why you are seeing me do the process on how I do this hairstyle. I also want to say with these cornrows, do not make them tight. Do not make these cornrows tight. It's a difference between tight and neat, okay? They could be nice and firm, not tight. You don't want any white bumps, especially that perimeter braid. You don't want any bumps in the scalp pulling out your hair follicles. So you want to make sure you're taking your time. You're not rushing and pulling. And just braid it in a slow pace. I do have this sped up. So don't try to like compete with the time. Like, oh my goodness, if you have to pause it, pause it. But yes, take your time. Make sure the parts are crisp. Make sure the braids are not tight. And just do your magic. Also, I did leave edges out, which you guys seen me do early. Make sure you ask your client how much of the edges they would like out, and you can still get the same results with this hairstyle. But just make sure you ask before you get to braiding it down. She has little to none edges coming out, and that's just the way that I want it because she doesn't really maintain her edges as like a priority. So it works in that benefit. And I think it looks cute with just very small to none edges out. And you see right here, I'm just parting and taking my time and making sure everything's nice and neat. When I braid, I start off with 3 different pillars, and then I just grab and braid as I go. I'm not really conscientious on stitching it. I naturally stitch in most cases. Some cases, especially with smaller parts, so that's not a big thing for me. I do see a lot of girls trying to do the stitch look, but with small braids, you really don't have to worry about stitching it too much with like a tool like a rat tail comb or like your nail, because it's just you're naturally just grabbing and going. If you are loving what you are seeing so far, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment if you like it, if I'm giving great detail, if you would like more detail, if you have any questions, please comment below. But just make sure you hit that subscribe so you'll get notified and hit that notification bell so you'll know when I'm posting. I try to post weekly. I try to post at least a short or a video, so always be on the lookout for that. So now that that side is complete, it is 8 braids on that side. So you want to make sure that you pre-part this side and just really use that middle part guide to just copy this side. You will see me pause and look over at the other side just to make sure that these braids are positioned in the same way. But it is 8 braids on each side. You see I already have my section parted. It goes pretty quick once you do one side, and you see I just matched it and I'm just braiding, and that is pretty much how I use this as a guide. And it makes it so much easier, especially once I get to like this part up here where the other braid is matching the other side. After that, it's just like magic. It just goes from there. But you want to make sure you pre-part and make sure that you can get 8 on this side and that it is identical. And that is pretty much how you will know if you part it down the middle in an even way. just by that. So you could pre-part the whole section and then braid it. You don't have to do one side first and then do that. You can literally pre-part this entire hairstyle at the top as far as the cornrows, and you can also pre-part the rows in the back just to make sure everything is the size that you want it to be. But you see I just lined it up and continued the line and curved it just a little. But again, I did pre-part, and that's why it's going so much faster, because I wanted to make sure that it was eight braids. Now that I am done with the entire cornrow part, I am now going to do the 2-strand part on the cornrow braids, since they are now off the scalp. And you see I am just putting all of this mousse all around there and kind of getting the hair to activate in the way that I want it to be as far as volume. And I just split it, and then I just twist it. I did move the hair out the way because I don't want any hair getting in this twist. And I just twist it like you see me do the back, until all the way to the ends of the braid, or the twist rather. And I just twist all the way to the end. You want to make sure you detangle. I'm using the unbrush. I love the unbrush. It's just so perfect for our hair texture. And I did apply more mousse because I feel like it needed to be more kinkier, more closer to the root than what it was appearing to be. It looked like it was more starting to curl up more so at the ends, which you can see like right now, if you look past my hand of doing the twist, how the texture of her hair is changing and not being so blown out of a look. It's starting to curl up, which is perfect for me when I want to twist it. I want to make sure this is nice and silky. And you don't have to use a mousse. You can also use a leave-in conditioner or any type of supplies you like to use on your twist. You don't have to use this product, but for me, I love this product. I love the way that it smells. I love the way that it feels between my fingers when doing the twist. I love how her twists look and feel once they're done. So this is the product that I like to use, but everyone's hair texture is different, and sometimes you may not like it due to the whatever reason, but for me, I like it, and I'm not going to change it until it's doing me not the justice that I want to see as far as what it's giving, and it's giving what it needs to give. I love it. But you see right here, her hair is pretty much curled up. Now I'm just twisting. She's still going to have her length because, again, this was all blown out here. But I'm just twisting and twisting. I do want to add that if you want to add some type of cuff or thread or beads, you can most definitely do that with these twists, and they'll give it a little razzle dazzle. She did not want any of those things, but I think that type of cuff and the beads and the string. I just think it gives it so much flavor and so much razzle dazzle that I just love. But for her, she just didn't want any of those things. She just wanted to rock it the way she wanted to rock it, which is basically with no accessories. But again, you can add beads, you can have cuffs, you can add thread, and just give it a little razzle dazzle. You can put little rings on the twist itself. You know, you can really get this into a really nice vibe. You know what I'm saying? Giving it that tribal look that it deserves, you know. It's still giving what it needs to give either way, but I'm just saying, if you like accessories, go get you some. Go get you some and add them. And I'm telling you, you will love it. You will love it. And here is the final look. It turned out super beautiful and super full. She has very thick hair, so this was perfect for her. This is the perfect hairstyle for the summertime or any other time. If you want to see more content, just click these playlists and these videos right here. Peace and hair grease. Thanks for watching.